Get your hands off my husband. I screamed, dropping the glass of champagne. The crystal shattered at our feet, but neither of them moved. They just stared at me, frozen in their embrace, my husband's hands still wrapped around my younger sister's waist. I'd spent all day preparing the perfect dinner to announce my pregnancy. Candlelight, my grandmother's china, his favorite lasagna. Now Chris stood there, my baby sister, her lipstick smeared across Daniel's mouth, wearing the innocent expression she'd perfected since childhood. Emma, wait, Daniel reached for me, but I stepped back, champagne soaking into my new shoes. Don't, I said, my voice deadly calm now. Just don't. The worst part? I'd been here before. Twice. 3 sisters, 3 husbands, 3 betrayals. But this time, everything would end differently. What's all that noise? My mother appeared in the doorway, followed by my other sisters, Melissa and Jane. The perfect audience for this perfect disaster. They acted shocked, hands over mouths, eyes wide. But there was something else in their expressions, a shared glance that passed between them too quickly. Emma caught us, Chris finally whispered, stepping away from Daniel. I'm so sorry. We never meant for you to find out like this. Find out like this? I laughed, a hollow sound that surprised even me. So there was a better way I should have discovered my husband with my sister? Daniel straightened his shirt, eyes darting between me and the door. Emma, sweetheart, it just happened. It didn't mean save it, I snapped, grabbing my purse from the counter. My hand closed around my phone inside, and suddenly the room felt very small. I need some air. Melissa, my eldest sister, stepped forward. Emma, you're upset. Let's all sit down and talk about this, like we talked when I found you with Brian. I asked quietly. Or like when Jane stole Jack from me? The room went silent. We never discussed those incidents. My first 2 marriages. My first 2 betrayals. My family had treated them as unfortunate coincidences, separate tragedies. After all, lightning couldn't strike the same place 3 times without a pattern. That was different, Jane murmured, not meeting my eyes. Was it? I looked at each of them, these women who shared my blood. 3 sisters, 3 husbands. What are the odds? My mother stepped between us, ever the peacemaker. Emma, honey, you're in shock. Let's all calm down and I'm pregnant, I said flatly. The words dropped into the silence like stones. Chris gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. Daniel went pale. Oh, Emma, my mother whispered. I turned and walked toward the door, shoulders back, head high. Where are you going? Daniel called after me. I paused at the threshold, not turning around. To Rachel's. Don't call me. Any of you. As I closed the door behind me, my phone vibrated in my purse. A notification from the family group chat I'd been added to by mistake 3 months ago. The one they didn't know I could see. My sisters were already texting each other about me. Rachel's guest bedroom became my sanctuary that night. She didn't ask questions, just made tea and sat with me until I was ready to talk. Rachel had been my best friend since college, the sister I should have had instead of the 3 who'd betrayed me. You have to see this, I said, handing her my phone. I've been collecting screenshots for weeks. Rachel scrolled through the images, her expression darkening. These bitches, she whispered, eyes widening at each new text. They were planning this? The messages I'd been saving revealed a disturbing pattern. My sisters discussing my husbands, making bets, sharing details. What had seemed like 3 separate betrayals was something far more calculated. I took my phone back, staring at the most recent exchange. Melissa, poor Emma walked in on you? Face with tears of joy, Chris, her face. Worth it though. Daniel's taking me to Cabo next weekend, Jane. That beats Jack's weekend in Vegas. Round 3 to Chris. Melissa, we should get together when she's not around, compare notes. They've been treating my marriages like a game, I said, my voice trembling. Like I'm some kind of joke. Rachel put her arm around me. What are you going to do? I placed a hand on my still flat stomach. I'm going to end their little game. On my terms. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay awake thinking about the patterns I'd missed. The family gatherings where my sisters seemed too interested in my husband's. The sudden phone calls and lunch invitations. The way they'd comfort me after each divorce, hiding their smiles. By morning, I had a plan. It would take time, weeks, maybe months. I'd need to be patient, calculating. The one trait I developed after 2 failed marriages, strategic thinking. I need your help, I told Rachel over breakfast. And I need you to promise not to talk me out of this. She looked at me for a long moment, then nodded. What do you need? First, we need to access their private chats. The ones I'm not supposed to see. Over the next 3 weeks, I stayed at Rachel's, ignoring the flood of messages from my family. Daniel moved out of our house, to Chris's apartment, I assumed. My mother called daily, leaving tearful voicemails about forgiveness and family. I returned to work at my bookstore, smiled at customers, ordered inventory. On the surface, I was handling things with dignity. Beneath, I was gathering ammunition. Rachel's brother worked in IT security. With his help, I gained access to my sister's social media accounts, email, and cloud storage. What I found made me physically ill. There were photos, videos, detailed messages dating back to my first marriage 7 years ago. My sisters had been systematically targeting my husbands, making it into a competition. They awarded points for how quickly they could seduce them, how dramatically I discovered their betrayal, how completely they could destroy my happiness. Look at this, I said to Rachel one night, showing her a screenshot of an email from Melissa to Jane during my second marriage. She's giving Jane tips on how to get Jack's attention because she already scored with Brian. Rachel shook her head in disgust. And your mom? Does she know? I flipped to another message. Not only knows, encourages it. Look at this message to Chris. Your sisters have had their turns. Don't let Emma's new marriage stop you from going after what you want. Your own mother, Rachel whispered. Emma, I'm so sorry. I closed my laptop, suddenly very calm. Don't be. They've given me everything I need. The Caldwell family reunion was scheduled for the following month at my parents' lake house. A weekend gathering that happened every summer. I hadn't missed one in 15 years, and despite recent events, my mother insisted I come. The family needs to heal, she said when she cornered me at the bookstore. Running away won't solve anything. You're right, I agreed, surprising her. I'll be there. Her relief was palpable. She hugged me, telling me how mature I was being, how proud she was of my resilience. I wondered if she'd be saying the same things in a few weeks. When she left, I called Rachel. It's on, I said. The reunion. Are you sure? She asked. You'll be what, 12 weeks by then? I placed a hand on my slight baby bump. Perfect timing. The lake house looked the same as it always had, sprawling porch, weathered dock stretching into the water, tall pines casting long shadows. Cars lined the gravel driveway when I arrived Friday evening, including Daniel's SUV. Right on schedule. My father greeted me with an awkward hug. Good to see you, sweetheart. Your mother said you were coming, but I wasn't sure. I wouldn't miss it, I said, forcing a smile. I noticed how he avoided mentioning Daniel or Chris, how his eyes didn't quite meet mine. Inside, conversations hushed as I entered the great room where the family had gathered. Aunts, uncles, cousins, all aware of the latest Caldwell sister drama, all unsure how to act around me. My mother rushed forward, taking my overnight bag. Emma, you look wonderful. She lowered her voice. Daniel and Chris are out on the dock. I thought it best to warn you. Thanks, Mom, I said, kissing her cheek. Don't worry about me. Melissa approached cautiously, wine glass in hand. Hey, EMS. Good to see you. I gave her the smile I'd been practicing for weeks. Slightly sad, a little forgiving. You too, Mel. She blinked, surprised by my lack of hostility. Really? Life's too short for grudges, I said. Besides, it's not the first time, right? Jane joined us, equally wary. Emma, you look Different. I feel different, I said. Perspective changes everything. Over dinner, I maintained the same calm demeanor. I noticed Daniel and Chris keeping their distance, holding hands under the table, exchanging nervous glances when they thought I wasn't looking. I chatted with cousins, helped serve dessert, laughed at my uncle's jokes. The perfect picture of a woman who had accepted her fate. After dinner, my father announced the traditional family toast. Before we begin, I said, standing, I'd like to say something. All eyes turned to me. My mother looked panicked. I want to thank everyone for welcoming me so warmly tonight, despite the circumstances. I raised my water glass. Family is everything, isn't it? The bonds between us, especially sisters, are sacred. I saw my sisters exchange glances, relief softening their features. They thought I was making peace. When I discovered Daniel with Chris, I was devastated. I continued. But then I realized something important. I paused, looking each sister in the eye. This wasn't about Daniel at all. Or Brian. Or Jack. The room grew very still. This was about the game, I said softly. The one you've been playing for years. Emma, my mother began, but I held up my hand. Let me finish, Mom. Please. I reached into my purse and pulled out my phone. I think everyone should see the rules of the game. Rachel. On cue, Rachel connected her laptop to the large TV mounted on the wall. The screen flickered to life, displaying a chat thread between my three sisters. Melissa, rules of the sister challenge. 1. Target must be legally married to Emma. 2. Seduction must be completed within 1 year of wedding. 3. Emma must catch them in the act for maximum points. The room erupted in gasps and whispers. My father stood frozen, mouth open. My mother sank into her chair. I continued reading aloud as Rachel scrolled through more messages. Jane, Brian was too easy. Jack's more loyal. Double points if I get him. Chris, you both had your turns. Daniel's mine. I'll be more creative than just kissing him where she can see. Stop this, my mother finally said, standing. Emma, you're embarrassing yourself. Am I? I asked as Rachel clicked to the next screen. Photos my sisters had taken with my husband's, intimate moments, screenshots of their planning. Or am I finally exposing the truth? Daniel stood, face ashen. Emma, I don't know what this is, but sit down, I said coldly. I'm not finished. He sat. The most interesting part, I continued, is how the game evolved. See, at first I thought you were just stealing my husband's because you could. But then I found this. Rachel clicked to a new screen, showing emails between my sisters and my mother. Mom, girls, Emma always gets everything she wants. It's time she learned life isn't fair. If she keeps finding these perfect men, it's your job to show her how easily they can be taken. The silence was deafening. Mom, Jane whispered. You told us Emma deserved it. My mother's face had turned to stone. Emma, that's private correspondence you've illegally obtained. You've always been dramatic, trying to play the victim. I'm carrying Daniel's child, I interrupted, placing a hand on my stomach. Were you going to make that part of the game too? See which of you could raise my baby? Chris went pale. You're really pregnant? I ignored her, turning back to the room full of shocked relatives. I've filed for divorce. I've also filed a civil lawsuit against my sisters and mother for intentional infliction of emotional distress. My lawyer has all of this evidence. You can't sue your own family, my father sputtered. Watch me, I said quietly. Oh, and one more thing. I nodded to Rachel, who clicked to the final screen, a three-way chat between my ex-husbands. Brian, she has no idea we've all slept with all three sisters, not just our assigned one. Jack, Daniel's turn in the barrel now. Good luck, man. Daniel, at least Emma's good for the money. Her sisters are better in bed, but none of them own a successful business. The room erupted in chaos. Chris lunged at Daniel, screaming. Jane burst into tears. Melissa stormed out. My mother sat motionless, staring at nothing. I picked up my purse and walked to the door, Rachel beside me. Emma, wait. My father called after me. We can fix this. I turned back one last time. No, Dad. Some things can't be fixed, but they can be finished. As Rachel and I drove away from the lake house, I felt lighter than I had in years. 3 marriages, 3 betrayals, 3 lessons learned. But this time I was walking away stronger. What now? Rachel asked as we hit the main road. I placed a hand on my stomach, feeling the future growing inside me. Now we start over. Just me and my baby? And me, Rachel said firmly. Always. I smiled at her, my real sister in all the ways that mattered. And you. Always. Behind us, the lake house grew smaller in the rearview mirror until it disappeared completely. Ahead, the road stretched open and free. For the first time in my life, I was driving toward something, not running away. 6 months later, I sat in my new apartment, watching the sunset from my balcony. My bookstore was thriving, my baby bump was undeniable, and the lawsuit had been settled out of court. My family had paid, literally and figuratively. My phone buzzed with a text from Rachel. Dinner at 7. Don't be late. I smiled, typing back, wouldn't miss it. The betrayals would always be part of my story, but they didn't define me anymore. I had written a new ending, one where I won on my own terms. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.